Hey guys, it's Eric from Monserrata Pictures. I realize that the audio isn't that good, so I will try to speak as clearly and concisely as possible. To get on with things, I can only be sure that you're here in regards to wanting an explanation to my choice of post for day 9 of OCeptember. So, worry not, it's right here. I know I sound super casual about this, but honestly, I've been trying to do this for the last 5 minutes, and it's a little difficult going through it, especially considering how many interruptions I've had. So hopefully, I'll be able to get this done in one go. So please bear with me, and thank you for your understanding and actually going to watch this video. So, um, as you know, my biggest regret, that post, it had a very touchy image in the sense that it was showing an individual who was being hanged. So here's my reasoning as to why I chose this. So, as everybody knows, O September is now a theme that September has to deal with since October isn't exactly viable for artists and alike anymore. However, September is also host to Suicide Prevention Month, and I decided that I was going to take the time to have Lawrence kind of walk through creating art for me that kind of did a two-in-one deal with that, if that makes any sense. So I'll elaborate a little bit more by actually getting into the meat of these three characters and their eventual fates, and the symbolism that it held and still holds in the end. So Price, Kirzak, and Shade are three characters that I've had since my first year of high school, so my freshman year, obviously. And they were part of this RP that I have eventually come to know and title as Guilty Pleasures. This RP was initially one that I used to run with my ex-girlfriend at the time. And, we took these one-dimensional cardboard cutouts of, Kirzak being the drunk, arrogant asshole, and Price being the calculating, meticulous, manipulative guy he was, and then Shade being, like the fearful small. And, putting them through these random and kind of odd experiences here and there, but it had this almost distinctive narrative to it that eventually ended up making them a little bit more three-dimensional, a little bit more real to at least me. Um, Before I continue on, I might as well tell you guys the origins of each of these characters, and they actually originate from my very own traits, the parts of my mind, so to speak. So Kirzak was born of my anger, my aggression, my arrogance, my hate, so on and so forth when it comes to negativity. Um, Price was born more of my calmness, my grace under pressure, quote unquote, my tact, my somewhat on and off intelligence, my ability to read a crowd, read a person, that sort of thing. And then Shade was my shadow, the character that I had resonated with the most because he was the one who had very severe anxiety. He was very fearful of his actions and how they would affect others, that sort of thing. He cared about others. He was probably, if not the most wholesome person of this trio. And so, going through each of the experiences that my OCs had gone through with my ex's OCs, it was almost like a metaphorical journey for me growing up, because it's like from freshman year till senior year, that's how long that RP had been going on. And it had been a ride for me. It had its ups, it had its downs, but for the most part, everything was on the up and up. Until eventually the beginning of college had rolled around, and my ex and I obviously had gone through a very ugly breakup. And it wasn't even really the breakup that led to all this. It was just a lot of ugliness and a lot of anger, a lot of aggression, a lot of hatred that came after on both parties. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't do anything in regards to retaliation, in regards to anger, a lot of shit that I regret, but it left me in a very vulnerable and fragile place, both mentally and emotionally, for a very long time. It's something that still bothers me to this day, and unfortunately, to a lot of my dismay and a lot of my displeasure, I took that out on the characters that we had left behind, just short of their happy endings. And so, each of their fates symbolizes something that I felt that I was going through at that time. With Price, it was his madness until eventually growing old and dying out. That was my tact, my grace under pressure, all of my intelligence, my ability to read somebody going out the window because I just couldn't do it anymore. It's like you know somebody for so long and then eventually it's just nothing. Nothing there. You know, you can't do it anymore. With Kierzek, it was taking this guy who initially started out as an enforcer, you know, somebody who was all for killing, drinking, sex, everything, and he eventually turned into a family man. Keep in mind, by the end. But all it took was taking that one thing tethering him down, that one thing holding him together, and then all of that ugliness, all of that hatred, all of that aggression, short of the arrogance, came back. And honestly, as I was going through the fits, it was just a lot of anger for me, a lot of sadness, a lot of negativity that was left behind. And with Shade, it was a lot of the thoughts that were going through my head that I just wanted to die. You know, you just fucking find yourself in a hole so fucking deep that you just think that, hey, if I'm dead, I don't gotta worry about it. If nothing will follow me, you know? No loose ends, nothing. Just put out the light and everything will be fine. But I know now, and I learned back then, that wasn't the case. It should never be the case. As I stated earlier on in my actual post in writing, if you guys read through the description, you will understand that I am not glorifying this. I'm not glorifying self-harm, I'm not glorifying suicide because it doesn't get you anywhere in the end. My reasoning for posting this and my reasoning as to why it links into suicide prevention is that one fact out of all of that ugliness, out of everything bad that happened in that circumstance is this: I am still here. I am still alive. And I got back up. When you are faced with depression, when you are faced with the ugly reality of the situation that you are in, you dig. You dig, you dig, and you dig, and then at some point you stop and you realize that you've been digging for a while. You look back up and you realize how deep that hole is. And it seems hopeless. It seems terrible. But eventually you find yourself in a place where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep digging. And I sure as hell don't want to give up. So you do your best and you fight and you try to climb. And it seems hard, it seems hopeless, but eventually you grab onto something that is stable. Be it friends, be it family, be it hobbies, be it professional help and psychiatrists, therapists, whatever it is. You keep grabbing at it, you keep going, you keep climbing, and then eventually you're up. You're above ground again. It doesn't mean that everything goes away. It doesn't mean that you're automatically better. It doesn't automatically mean that you're whole again. But you keep going. You keep fighting. You can't keep acting like you're stuck in that hole. But whenever you revisit that and it makes you think that, fuck, maybe I'm going to fall back into it, or maybe things aren't working, you find a way. You find a way. So, I'm making this video for the people out there who have been through this, for the people who don't but want to support others, and hell, even for the people who are too ignorant and they believe that those people should be gone. And hey, to those who want to help and to those who have gone through this, you are not alone. You will never be alone in that department, and all you gotta do is you gotta keep fighting. It may take weeks, it may take months, fuck, it might take years, but you gotta keep fighting. And for those people who are trying to shoot you down, they are outnumbered. That's all I wanted to say, guys. So, hopefully the rest of OCeptember can be continuing on a higher note. And to those of you who are supporting suicide prevention, to those of you who are supporting those who are off, feeling as though they're on the cliff thinking about jumping, keep fighting, and remind them that there is a life worth fighting for at the end of all of this. It's up to them whether or not they want to keep fighting. Thank you.